Spirituality was once a journey inward, a search for truth, a search for awareness, a search for peace beyond the noise of the world. But today, something has changed. Spirituality has become everywhere on social media, in trends, in aesthetics, in quotes, in content. Millions of people now speak about awakening, energy, manifestation, consciousness, healing, and enlightenment. While this has helped many people begin their inner journey, it has also created confusion because not everything labeled spiritual is truly spiritual, and sometimes the modern spiritual world can distract people from genuine growth instead of leading them toward it. Welcome to the Aura World, where we explore the deeper truths hidden beneath modern life and modern thinking. Because today we are exploring the darker side of modern spirituality, not to attack spirituality, but to understand it honestly. To separate wisdom from illusion, awareness from performance, truth from trend, because true spirituality was never meant to become another form of escape. When spirituality becomes an identity. One of the biggest changes in modern spirituality is that spirituality itself has become an identity. People no longer simply practice awareness, they build personalities around appearing spiritual. They want to look awakened, sound awakened, be perceived as higher consciousness, and slowly the ego enters spirituality itself. Ironically, many people begin spirituality to escape the ego but end up strengthening it in a new ways, because now the ego says, I am more conscious than others, I am spiritually superior, I understand truths that others don't. And the moment spirituality becomes about superiority, it loses its depth. Spirituality as escapism. Another dangerous pattern is using spirituality to escape reality. Some people avoid responsibility, emotional healing, discipline, difficult conversations, or real world problems by hiding behind spiritual ideas instead of facing pain. They say everything is energy instead of healing emotionally. They avoid emotions completely instead of taking action. They endlessly consume spiritual content, and slowly spirituality becomes distraction instead of transformation. Because true spirituality does not disconnect you from life, it helps you engage with life more consciously. The addiction to awakening. Modern spirituality also created obsession around awakening. People constantly search for signs, synchronicities, angel numbers, spiritual experiences, mystical feelings, and while these experiences can feel meaningful, some people become addicted to chasing them. They begin searching for extraordinary experiences constantly instead of learning how to live consciously in ordinary life. But true awareness is not always dramatic. Sometimes spirituality is simply being in present, understanding yourself, calming the mind, treating others consciously, and living with awareness daily. Not every spiritual experience needs to feel mystical. Social media changed spirituality completely. Social media accelerated spirituality massively. Now spiritual content spreads faster than ever, but algorithms reward aesthetics, simplicity, emotional stimulation, and viral ideas. As a result, deep spiritual teachings often become oversimplified. Complex ideas become short quotes, ancient wisdom becomes trends, and spirituality sometimes becomes more about appearance than understanding. People may post constantly about peace, healing, consciousness, self-love, while internally still struggling deeply because social media often rewards the image of spirituality, not necessarily the practice of it. The commercialization of spirituality. Modern spirituality has also become a massive industry. Courses, coaches, healing products, manifestation programs, energy readings, retreats, and while many people genuinely help others, there are also people profiting from emotional vulnerability. Selling certainty, selling instant awakening, selling guaranteed transformation, but real spiritual growth does not happen instantly. It is slow, internal, uncomfortable at times, and no product can completely replace inner work. The spirituality is often quiet. Real spirituality is usually less dramatic than people expect. It is not always visions, mystical experiences, or constant positivity. Sometimes true spirituality is sitting with your emotions honestly, facing uncomfortable truths, healing your patterns, learning emotional control, practicing compassion, and becoming more aware of yourself. Often the deepest spiritual growth happens quietly, without performance, without attention, without needing validation. Spirituality without critical thinking. Another modern problem is blindly believing everything labeled spiritual. Some people stop questioning completely, and without critical thinking, people become vulnerable to manipulation. Because not every spiritual claim is truth, awareness requires balance, openness, but also discernment. True spirituality should expand awareness, not remove logic entirely. The real purpose of spirituality. At its deepest level, spirituality was never about becoming special, it was about becoming conscious, understanding your mind, your emotions, your suffering, your attachments, and your connection to life itself. It is not about escaping humanity, it is about understanding humanity more deeply. And perhaps the most spiritual thing someone can do is simply become more aware, more compassionate, more present, more honest with themselves. The balance modern people need. The modern world desperately needs balance because today many people are overstimulated, distracted, emotionally disconnected, mentally exhausted, and searching for meaning. Spirituality can help people reconnect with themselves, but only when practiced honestly. Not as performance, not as escape, not as superiority, but as awareness. The biggest misunderstanding. Many people believe spirituality means becoming perfect, always calm, always positive, always peaceful. But real spirituality does not remove human emotions. It teaches you how to understand them, how to observe them, how to stop being controlled by them. Because spirituality is not about becoming less human. It is about becoming more conscious while being human. Final impact. Perhaps the greatest spiritual journey is not escaping the world, but learning how to live within it consciously. To remain aware in distracted world, to remain peaceful in chaos, to remain authentic in a world full of performance, and maybe true awakening is not becoming someone completely different. Maybe it is finally seeing yourself clearly for the very first time. If this opened your mind, subscribe to the Aura World, because here we go beyond trends and explore the deeper truths behind consciousness, emotion, spirituality, and modern life. Thank you.